Welcome to the Inspired Action Podcast. This is where we have motivational, inspiring conversations and interviews that we hope you'll enjoy listening to. If you're interested in creating more balance in your life, understanding your 5-element energetic nature, finding the path of greatest ease,
or releasing the baggage of this lifetime and discovering ancient alchemy that can help you fly in your life, join us and other inspired actioneers on this alchemical transformational journey.
Hello and welcome back, Inspired Actioneers. This is the Inspired Action Podcast. My name is Jay and I'm here with my co-host, Lita Herman.
Hello, everyone. Today is Pod 25 and we're talking about elemental energies today.
Wow, 25. That goes by fast.
Woo!
Wow. You know, back in season 1, we introduced everyone to the concepts of the 5 elements, and a lot of listeners have asked for more. They want to just keep going more into the 5 elements.
Yes.
So today we're going to give you what you asked for, more. In fact, if we have so much to talk about today, we might end up making this into 2 podcasts. We're going to see how the conversation goes. But are you ready, Lita?
I'm ready.
Wait. Before we begin, let's remind everyone who's listening that keep the questions coming. You can email us or voicemail us.
Send us your questions.
Yeah, voice memo and email it to us,
I'll give them the email address again. questions@inspiredactionpodcast.com.
That's great. And at the end of this podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about our sponsor, Audible. I know last week you listened to the Brené Brown book, and I don't say what you're listening to this week, but we'll talk about that as well. And
okay.
Also, we just posted the video on the Facebook group of you doing the plant energies. So it's kind of fun. If you want to check that out. We have so much going on here and we're just getting started.
Yeah, we're so excited about all of this, and we're going to try to put together another video for you for this podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So it's going to be a lot of things going on in the next few months. So stay with us whenever you're listening to this. We don't know when you're going to listen to this, but we have a lot of cool stuff. And, even though we're talking about some serious things, we try to keep it light. We try to keep it moving along. And it's all about making people laugh and smile and ask yourself better questions.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, as I explained in our last pod, learning the elemental energies of the universe can be hard if you're just looking at it intellectually, like when you're reading it in a book. But I learned many years ago that when I teach people to feel the energies in their bodies and learn how to move their bodies like each energetic type, they learn it so much faster.
I think people learn a lot of things by doing versus just reading from a book. So that's great advice.
And human beings exhibit the 5 elemental energies with their walks and their talks and even how they look with their eyes.
Sure. And we also have the smells, colors, plants, trees, even clothing styles.
Yes, definitely clothing styles. We've already talked about the ponchos.
Yeah, I did not bring that up.
It's so funny because everyone talks about the ponchos, and a lot of Earth people are like, I don't really wear ponchos. Well, yes, I do. It's kind of like poncho.
Yes. Has anyone said they don't wear ponchos?
Well, a few people admitted they don't know what a poncho is, and they had to look it up.
And then they said,
yeah, I kind of wear ponchos.
I told you, it's not about if, it's about how many. So if you're asking if, it's how many do you have? Or how many did you have? But no, but I did not bring up the poncho.
No, I did. Okay. But I bet a lot of people didn't know that they have an energetic smell.
Yeah, smells are really wild. Well, I definitely have to get into that. All right, so let's just get going with how the energetics feel in our bodies. This is an interesting concept for you to try to deliver on. So let's see how we go with how you can describe it.
Yeah. And I just want to say quickly, if you're driving or sitting down, this is definitely one you'd be better off listening to when you can stand up and walk around.
Yeah, don't do it while you're driving.
So at our recent retreat, we had everyone stand up for this part. And so if you're not driving, I encourage you to stand up so you can feel this in your own body. And if you're driving, wait until you get somewhere and then you can practice standing and walking there. Don't stand up while you're driving.
If you're running or something, maybe just slow down to a walk to do this. What I really like about today is we can talk about all 5 at once. So, I think the introductions we did a lot was about a single element. We talked a lot about each one. But, I think our listeners will benefit today from all the comparisons that you're going to make to the various energies. So you can get a feel for all 5 of them. This helped me a lot when I was learning back in the day.
If you can stand up, you're not driving a car, I want you to stand up and I want you to focus on your rib cage. right under your chest where your diaphragm is located. And I want you to put all your energy there.
So you're starting with wood.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Okay. You didn't
start
say
with
that,
wood.
but I'm guessing.
I was going to let you guess.
There you go.
Okay, so it's almost like you're puffing out the center of your rib cage.
I feel like when you talk about the puffing up the thing, it's kind of like, the barnyard animals. Who's going to have the big chest in and out there? I'm not going to say what animal it is, but it's the one that kind of struts around. And
which animal? I honestly
the rooster.
Don't know. Oh, the rooster. Yes,
or the big
course.
cock.
Yeah. Okay.
We're probably not going to say that.
So it's a little macho. Are you trying to say?
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying it's like this. The kind of like stand up and.
That's really true. Actually, I hadn't thought of that. But as you puff out your rib cage, you can feel your arms want to slightly move away from the sides of your body. There, your wings, like you're flapping your wings a little. No. And notice how it makes you feel about yourself. If you aren't wood, you might feel a bit bolder, like you can tackle anything.
You might actually feel the strength of the stance that you take with your body. It's a stance of power, strength, a little bit of attitude. It's definitely not violent or angry.
Yes.
But people like to come in when we're practicing this. They almost like to come at me like they're trying to be more woody. And it's very intense, and they have to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, because wood is about strength, not anger.
Yeah, so let's get into the motion, of how this looks.
Yeah, and just let's step back for a second. We've done this with a lot of people, and I do think we should explain a little bit more about what happens. Like if you're trying to fake wood, you try to get sort of aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like
instead of assertive.
Yeah, and it's more like they're like, I'm like, whoa, dial it back a little bit. Yeah.
In fact, you feel kind of relaxed in your body, even though that rib cage is very energized. Yeah. The rest of you is like, hey, I'm just laid back.
Ready for anything, though. You're alert and awake. We talk a lot about that a lot for wood. So you have this posture. Even if you just do it if you're sitting down, you can stretch your shoulder blades back and puff up that chest, and you get that feeling of like,
I'm ready for the world. Let's go. Yeah. And so let's put it into motion. So as you step forward, imagine that your legs begin at this spot that we're focusing on in the rib cage. You don't really have hips or knees. It's just these giant legs that step outwards. They kind of fall forward, and it looks like you're marching like in a formation or something like that.
So a visual you might have is one of those scary scenes you see on TV of all the 1,000 soldiers marching together. Think of but maybe we'll make it cuter and think of penguins marching. Yes. Okay, they're all stiff-legged, but they're not waddling. Don't waddle. But you have these stiff legs, so you have an army of 1,000 penguins, and you're just marching with straight legs and arms are out to the side.
Yeah, and imagine you have combat boots.
On the penguins?
Okay. Yes. So
an army of 1,000 penguins marching with combat boots on. There's a visual for you. You don't get that anywhere else. Because penguins like big shoes.
Yeah, so wood people love big shoes, and I think part of it is it's almost like you really don't have the knee and hip joints. It's just like this big shoe that stretches out and falls on the ground, and it's an odd thing, but it really works.
Yeah, it sounds odd. I'm sure the penguins are going, what? We don't walk like that. But no. And most importantly, when you're trying to do the wood walk, don't walk willy-nilly. Pick a point as a goal, get to it. No dilly-dallying. It's about efficiency. It's about a direct path.
Woods don't waste any time. They get where they need to go as efficiently as possible. And if something is in their way, they go around it with minimal effort. They don't make a big deal out of it.
No, it's the least amount of effort, and you're alert and aware, anticipation about what's happening ahead, around the corner, above. We take it all in as we move at a very fast pace.
So if you are listening, try this out. Try picking a point. Walk from point A to point B, and just, whatever's in your way, don't worry about it. Just go around it as quickly and as efficiently as you can. And again, we're going to post a video about the walk. So go look and see what the wood walk looks like if you're having trouble. But for now, use your imagination.
Yeah. And that imagination of 1,000 penguins marching along with stiff legs and giant combat boots.
And just keep your energy focused on the center right underneath your chest.
Yes. All right. So let's compare that with the fire element walk.
Yes. For the fire element, I want you to stand again with your body. I want you to feel it in your body. So I want you to move your energy up. You were in the diaphragm area. Now you just raise all the energy up. Like all of your energy is in the top of your chest and the top of your shoulders. And your heart is what's most important. And even your eyes and your head. So everything is lifting up. You can even, this is my little secret, you can lift your eyebrows.
Sure.
And that will help you feel like you're fire. I'm doing it now with my voice raised up.
Sure.
And I sound a little more joyful.
It is about joy. I think champagne bubbles rising up to the body, they make your eyes sparkle with that joy. So
Yes.
It's definitely a sparkle thing. So work on the eyebrows.
I love it. Now, how does that make you feel?
Well, it feels like laughter, fun, light. All right, I'll do the eyebrow thing. Say, like Christmas morning every day. Whee! Let's go. Woo!
Now I want you to forget all of the rest of your body. All you are is a heart and a head, and you don't even have a belly or legs or arms.
Another great visual.
All your energy is up, up, up. And as you walk, these champagne bubbles want to lift you off the ground. In fact, it's like you have helium and it's trying to lift you up. So as you start walking, you can't help but bounce up and down.
It's the fire bounce. It's the easy way to tell if someone is fire. It's like their feet are lifting them up. You don't know why they're bouncing. They have like squishy sneakers or why they're bouncing, but it's the fire walk. And you made a really good point in the retreat we had when people started thinking about their feet moving and their moving and their body up and down. It was very interesting. So if they try to fake it, like you said, don't think about your feet. Think of the bubbles lifting you up, 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 and it's up in the head. It's up high. And everyone was able to do it much better after you start thinking about that.
Yeah, you can fake fire just by lifting your heels up while you're walking, but it will look funny. If you do it more like helium is lifting you up from the top, then it will look like a real fire walk. In fact, your butt should wiggle a little bit. We call it the butt wiggle, just from the motion of the bounce. It's not the side to side of Earth. It's just like a little wiggle.
And the fire energy is much more distracted from their goals, like we just talked about wood, Lita. So fire, they're not as direct as wood, correct?
Correct. The people you meet along the way are much more interesting than your final destination. There's always laughter and maybe even a little flirting, or at least a pleasant interaction along the way. And in fact, you might even forget where you were going if you meet a friend along the way and you start chatting. So let's just say wood is an arrow darting from one place to another, and fire is a meandering puppy distracted by every smell along its path. Flowers are also great distractions, speaking of smells.
For the puppy to pee on or
Yeah,
something.
right.
So the puppy, you're just meandering and peeing on flowers.
Yes.
But happy about it.
Yeah,
Whee!
very happy.
The fire element, like color, smells, people, I'd say any of those could lead you on down another path, whether or not you're a puppy or not. But let's keep going. So let's keep going. Let's now compare that to Earth.
Okay, so earth energy, all your energy is going to come downward to the center of your belly. So lower than when you had your energy in your diaphragm, it's going to really like your belly button.
Well, remember, Earth occupies the center. So, of course, it's going to be located into the center, which is pretty much the belly.
Yes. And so I want you to stick out your belly like you have a big round Buddha belly and feel it be soft and relaxed. Now, I really want you to do this if you're standing up. I want you to rub that belly, just really lovingly, daringly feel how you feel when you put all your energy there. You relax, you want to slow down, you want to be grounded.
And just forget that anyone could be watching you rub your belly.
Right.
Like a big Santa belly or a Buddha belly. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so you feel your feet touching the ground. In fact, you know what? Take off your shoes. If you can really get into that, barefoot touching the ground, your feet touching the ground.
Earth people love to be barefoot.
Yeah. So how can you not feel grounded when you're connected to the ground?
Yes. And earth people love, love, love doing that. So when you do this, when I do it, I feel so much more thoughtful in my body. So ask yourself, how do I feel like this? It's like coming into your body fully, and it brings about this great awareness of everything around you at the same time.
Yeah, and I feel like center too. I often take off my shoes when I'm doing the earth walk with people, and it really does help you feel connected to the ground. And I remember you once told me that the earth element is centered so they can help everyone out in the periphery.
Yes, it's like this constant checking in with the center of yourself and then being aware of everything around you. And that's the gift of earth.
And that's the connection with the middle, with the belly.
Yes. And if earth loses their center, they can't help anyone. So this is critical. This connection with the middle, it's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So let's take it to the walk.
Okay.
I want you to think about your belly as a circle, and you're moving your hips side to side to create a circular feeling when you walk. So you can keep rubbing a circle on your belly to help you get started. And now you could even think of yourself as a model on a runway.
With a big belly.
Yes, with a big belly. Well,
Okay, so a pregnant model on the runway.
There you go. But that side to side hip motion comes from all the energy being held in the center and the circular nature of earth.
And that makes the hips go from side to side. And I think the best earth walk, if you really want to get a look at this on just uninhibited, is Beyonce. As she takes the stage, she owns it. She is the center, again with the center, she is the center of her world, and she rocks it. She rocks it, yes. So there's you can check out Beyonce if you want to get a look at that earth. But there's a lot of earth people out there. So let's compare that now to the metal element.
Yes. Metal, if you're going to do metal, you move your energy back up to the chest, specifically your lungs. But this time, it's not this energized, bubbly, champagne-y feeling. It's softer. And if you think of the energy in your chest, you think of it like clouds. It's nebulous. And now I want you to roll your shoulders back to allow your lungs to have maximum lung capacity.
And you hold your head high and you almost pin your shoulders back.
Yes. Now imagine you have a string tied to the very top of your head, and it's holding your head up, and you're dangling from the string like a puppet. In fact, when your head is erect and being pulled up, the rest of you is dangling down. So let your hands and your arms feel floppy and loose.
So think of like a Pinocchio on a string. Okay, so you're kind of dangling. You have the string coming out, pulling you up. Lift your head, lift your nose a little snooty. So you have like a little snooty Pinocchio. And then you try to start to walk, but fluidly, not like, first day on the puppet strings.
And I always say, imagine like when she says your nose is up in the air, like think royalty. There's something about royalty that's very snooty looking. They lift their chin and their nose up, but the rest of them is really relaxed. There's no, they glide like there's no effort.
Yeah. I know we always say it's like walking on clouds because, they're floating and you're on that string and it's like your feet don't even touch the ground. So one example, which we mention all the time, if you want to get a good look at a metal walk, is Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
She has a nice walk.
Yeah.
And she kind of has that snooty kind of look, but
yes.
It's not so much that. It's just her walking in the metal element.
It's the way she holds her head.
Yes.
That erectness of the head and then everything loose and dangling from there.
Yeah. So imagine yourself as a Angelina Jolie puppet, not Pinocchio.
There you go.
Go with that. Sorry. So let's go now on to water.
Okay. So let's stand again and feel water in your body. First and most importantly, imagine tons of energy in your low back. So you're going to move all the energy back down, feel it in your kidneys, and imagine that you have two giant Harley-Davidson engines revving, going vroom, 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 vroom.
Oh boy, not the engines again.
Yeah,
remember last time
you
we talked
remember this from season one.
Yes, I love doing that sound effect.
So those engines are pushing your hips forward. So I really want you to literally push your hips forward as much as you can.
And when you do it this way, when you're walking forward with those hips forward, you can't go side to side like earth. They're locked in that forward stance and your feet just barely leave the ground.
It's so true. Waters don't scuff their feet.
Wait, unless they're wearing Uggs.
Unless they're
Remember
wearing
the Ugg days?
Yes.
It was really hard to
true.
tell walks. We had to say, take off your Uggs.
Yes. But it's not that they scuff in normal shoes, but their feet are just above the ground. It's like they're cross-country skiing or something, with very short strides, but it's just a glide.
And that propelling them forward is that engine, that force.
Yes. And you feel in your body that power. So when you try walking, go slow and as if you have nowhere to go, and feel the power in your back. And now, once you do that, then try speeding up and keeping your low back pushing forward, and feel how speedy it can feel. Like waters can easily walk speedily, unlike woods, for example, with the penguin walk, they just have a harder time walking faster.
So let's do a recap on wood.
Okay, so wood, you're going to come from your diaphragm,
Stand tall.
Rib area. Yes, stand tall, arms puffed out from the sides, chest puffed out, walk like a penguin in the army.
Okay, so fire recap.
Fire. So you're going to bring all the energy up into your chest like little bubbles of helium lifting you up and down. And it's Christmas morning every day.
Don't forget the eyebrows.
Yeah, the eyebrows.
It makes you smile. Okay, so then we're going to move to earth.
Earth, you go back down to the center of the belly. You move side to side, which is totally different than that butt wiggle of fire, and which is totally not is involving the hips in a circular fashion.
Yes. Okay, so metal.
So you're going to bring the energy back up to your chest with your shoulders rolled back and everything dangling from a string at the top of your head, floppy arms, and that regal, almost snooty patootie.
But in a nice way. Okay. So, and then we move from metal to water.
Water. So you're going to bring all the energy down to your low back, push your hips forward, lock them in place. Yes, you're going to have your engine and you're going to skate. So you're lifting your feet just barely above the ground. And with power, you ice skate forward, but you don't have skates on.
So it's ice skating with no skates.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, if you do this for homework or just doing it for fun, these are how you can feel the energies in your body for the walk. I would even encourage you to come up with some adjectives to write in your own. So let's just say you write in your journal, like we, ask everyone to do if they want to follow along. Feel how you feel when you do each of these stances and walk each of these elements, and see if you can clearly identify how you walk.
I'm telling you, I feel like a completely different person when I walk the different elements. If I were to walk wood, for example, down the sidewalk in town, I really recommend everyone try this, especially if you're not wood. I'm wood last, and it's so strange to even see people act differently to me. I'm walking down the street and they get out of my way. And usually I'm the one that gets out of people's way. So for me to do that, it's like, whoa, who am I?
Yeah, well, that's the wood energy. It's about that confidence. It's about that awareness. Like you're on a mission to go where you're going. When I walk down the sidewalk, and I don't even do this, but they just part. The ways part in front of us.
I've seen it happen.
And it's like the arrow. Well, like you mentioned the arrow. So, but you're just going down there every once in a while.
So yeah, Jay, what happens if you meet another wood like you?
It all depends. Every once in a while, there's a collision, and that's what's really about. Who's in the way?
And then sometimes you play with them.
Yes. You'll see that little head-to-head shuffle. Maybe we'll try to get that on video. It's like two woods, and they're like, oh, sorry. Yeah, it's like, and then you go around them or they move or whatever. It's very, you know what? That's really funny, actually. Yes, that's it. I don't know what that's wood to wood, I guess.
I've seen it happen. It's like, who's going to give way? And then there's a little game going on. Yeah. And then it's fun.
That's the walks. Going to definitely try to put a video too of the walks. Feel free, if you can get a friend of yours to videotape you walking.
Oh,
you could definitely send us a short video. Or if you're in the Facebook group, maybe you'd want to post it. You have them do it from the back. And have them, and so you can see your butt, and don't wear a shirt or a big coat, or you can also have them doing it from the front or the side.
And don't wear flip-flops or Uggs.
All right. Yes, no flip-flops or Uggs. Here's your homework if you choose to accept it. It's to go out into public. I guess you could do it at home, but it's much more fun in public, and practice the walks. Put the podcast on in your headphones. Listen to it. Try it. It's fun. We do it all the time. Maybe hop on a park bench, watch some people walking, see how they go down the sidewalk, see if they're up and down, see if they're cutting a path through.
Just today, I was walking down a path to work, and I saw this great fire walk. I almost pulled my phone out to
You have
capture
pulled that video out many times.
I've done it before, but this woman was just perfect. She was bouncing like crazy. It made me smile because I thought, oh, here comes a fire person.
That's right. So, if you have a friend who will take a video of you, feel free to send it to us or pop it on the Facebook if you're in the Facebook group, and we all can look at it. That's it for today, and we hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we will see you again soon.
Yay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I thought we'd do this little thing on Audible since we have them as a sponsor now. So it's time for reading or listening to this week on Audible.
Well, I thought it would be really great to listen to Audible elementally.
Okay, as opposed to mentally,
Yeah,
but
right.
now we listen to it elementally. Okay.
So here's a great suggestion. Tina Fey's book, Bossy Pants,
Love
is
it.
the perfect book. She reads it, and it's a wood book. So if
Yeah.
you want to understand, if you want to get in the wood mindset, listen to that book.
So that's a good one. So there's your homework for this week. Another.
And I have one more.
Oh, okay. Bonus.
Let's say you want to do the metal element.
I know where this is going. Jane
you know
Lynch.
which one? Jane Lynch.
Yes.
What's the book called again?
I can't remember, but I remember listening to it. She has the perfect metal voice. It's good to have the people who read their own books.
Yes. And Brene Brown was the earth one. So there's 3 right there.
So the Jane Lynch book is called Happy Accident. So there's wood for Tina Fey, there's earth for Brene Brown, and there's metal for Jane Lynch.
And we'll come up with the fire.
Yeah,
and-
we'll come if you can do 3 books in 1 week, but you only have to do 1 because you get 1 free on Audible if you go to audibletrial.com, put in /whoosh, inspired action. You get 1 of those free. You get 30 days to zip around the site, and you can then get that book for free. Nada,
There you go.
zip, nothing, $0.
Great. Okay.
So, sounds good to me.
All right.
All
so
right.
check it out.
Check it out and let us know what you think on those books.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Inspired Action Podcast, and you've reached the end. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Why not celebrate a little bit and click that subscribe button right there? We love having you with us on this journey, and we want it to continue.
You can also rate and review this podcast. And if you have already, thank you so much. We read all reviews, and your reviews help other people find this podcast as well. You can also be a part of this podcast yourself by submitting a voice recording message and emailing it to us at lita@inspiredactionpodcast.com or jay@inspiredactionpodcast.com.
And if you want, you can join our Facebook group or follow us on Instagram.
Join us next week for another Inspired Action conversation. And thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening, and remember to hug the dog.